When somebody understands fission and fusion and the inner workings of nuclear reactions, they can't not know how to make a bomb out of it and just make a nuclear reactor to make power. It was like a Twilight Zone episode. It just kept getting stranger. The fact that it was happening at all was the weirdest part. Look, it's been 30 years, and all of a sudden you raised it to this level? You know, this is a powerful technology, fearsome technology, and you just don't want everyone to have it. It'll become obvious how to make constructive as well as destructive devices from it. It's my only guess as to why they have never released information. It's kind of difficult. Once you release the technology to be analyzed and give it to everyone, they can just run with it. You really can't keep the weapon potential hidden. You really can't. Look, with ET technology, you can literally rule the world.
You're going to an investigative reporter at a news station and you are outing the most secret project ranked higher than the H-bomb, and you're essentially putting your face and voice on the news, although you did a shadow interview first. You put yourself out there. That's because you were scared.
Yeah, there's no question. It's easy to joke about or laugh or remember just the good times now, almost 30 years later. But at the time, yeah, I was petrified. This was no joking around. I mean, it was hard to sleep. I had people wait up at night and keep an eye out. It was crazy. It was crazy. It absolutely destroyed my life. I mean, I weighed like 119 pounds or something then. I was stressed out all the time.
It's safe to say your employers were pissed as fuck.
Obviously, they were pissed.
What was the fear from at that time?
I was really afraid of the people that worked at S4. I had no idea how far they would go. How angry they were with me was made really clear. So there were so many things that happened. I mean, people breaking into my house, searching my car even when I went to the gym to work out. And I mean, I had friends with me that saw things like this happening. And even they were afraid. So I left in constant fear at the time.
This is the hard part of the story for people to understand. It's they don't really get a sense of what it was like because literally you had to be there for some of this. I lived through it. I know what it was like, what Bob was going through at that time. They were breaking into his house and playing mind games. You know, they'd leave the doors open, they'd leave drawers open, nothing's taken. They'd write things on his blackboard or erase things, move things around. He goes to the gym with his buddy and he's kind of scared, so he's got an Uzi in his car. He comes out an hour later after working out, the doors to the car are open, the windows are down, the glove box is open, and the Uzi is laying there on the front seat. That wasn't a burglary, that was somebody messing with him. That stuff really happened. I can remember getting calls from Bob in the night, just that he had somebody in his house messing with him. I go over to see him to calm him down, and he's walking around with his Uzi peeking out the windows. Sounds paranoid, but as the old saying goes, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean somebody isn't after you. And in his case, they were messing with him. That was real. It's both frightening and infuriating.
Do you feel that you have been utilized in this mechanism of information release?
I think I'm doing something that somebody once done. I think I have been used in that regard. I think somebody, maybe not all of them, but some of them wanted this stuff out. They wanted to see how it would fly. I think that's why Bob Lazar was hired out there. I think on many levels, it does not make sense that they would put him in that job. But the fact is they did. He was out there and he was working on this stuff for a short period of time. I think they probably selected him because they knew he wouldn't keep his mouth shut. And that story would come out. And then I did my part of it in telling it to the world. I suspect that they figured I would quit. and that I would give up, and I wouldn't continue it for another 25 years and still be plugging away at it. But in the larger context, I think I was probably doing something that they wanted done. Let's get this story out there, see if people freak out, and then we can always pull it back. We can discredit the guy. I do think that there have been attempts to discredit me, that they've tried to make a run at me with false information. If Bob worked at Los Alamos in any kind of sensitive or classified position, then it becomes reasonable to say he could have worked out at S4. All the stuff about his educational credentials aside, if he was there, I don't really care whether he went to MIT or not. And I think we established beyond any question that he was there. I mean, I interviewed people that he worked with who said he was there. We had him in the phone book. We had him in the newspaper. I had confirmation from the company that recruited him, Kirkmeyer, that said that, yeah, we hired him, and they were going to give me the records, and then they said no. I know that the lab lied to me. I know that they thwarted my attempts to prove that he was there, but he was there. And one of the reasons I know he was there is because he took us in. We went there on a weekend. My photographer and I, Bryant Blackburn, flew to Los Alamos and went to the lab, and Bob took us in. It was like a rabbit in his burrow. I mean, he was taking us through buildings. Obviously, he knew his way around. We were there. He took us in. I guess, I guess there might be some other explanation for how he was able to have that access, but I'd like to know what it is. This is a reluctant UFO messiah. The only reason he came out to talk to us again is because I bugged him about it relentlessly. And he finally relented and came out. But he wasn't happy about it. Nothing good comes from the UFO field for him. It does nothing but cause him trouble. If he had to do it over again, I suspect he wouldn't do it because it changed his life. And there was a part of him that would really like to still be working on that stuff. I mean, it was really amazing technology. The most amazing technology he's ever seen. The descriptions of the golf ball experiment, where you throw a golf ball at this force field and it bounces off, or this demonstration where it freezes time. It freezes a flame. How the flame could still be burning without moving, without consuming this candle. How does that work? Even if he has been led down a path, and me along with him, that they have shown him glimpses of something for their own reasons. Run it up a flagpole, let's see how the public reacts, and then discredit him down the line. He acknowledges that's possible. And I've thought about it all the way along, that we're being played with. But the idea that Bob was a disinformation agent or part of a program to mislead the public is wrong. He's not. And I can say that after knowing the guy for a quarter of a century. The story he told then is the story he tells now. He didn't add to it. He's not making it more elaborate. He's not remembering new parts of it. It's the same story. It's consistent all the way through. He's telling me something that really happened to him.
Then landed. So I wanted them to witness what I was, so there'd be something backing up what I was saying. And certainly witnessing the craft actually being tested was,
What turned them on you, the people that you worked with at S4? What turned that administration of people against you? When did it become dangerous for you? Why did it become dangerous for you?
I think that the start of it was the fact that they were monitoring my phone calls. And at the time, my wife was having an affair because she thought I was having an affair by disappearing at night going to this job. And they were monitoring that. Now, one of the requirements for clearance at this level is having a stable family life. You can't have some, tumultuous situation going on. So they want, just a happy, calm, normal person. I was beginning to move out of that category when they saw that this, affair was taking place. This is going to be a problem. So let's not have him come into work anymore until this resolves itself. And that's when I started bringing some friends out going, well, they're not asking me to come into work anymore, and they're not just going to let me go with all this knowledge that they gave me. So that's when I decided to show a close group of friends what was going on, just in case I did suddenly disappear or something like that. This is what I was doing.
The easy way out is to say he's time story broke, since Lou Elizondo came forward and said those videos went public, the world is now talking about UFOs in a more serious vein. I think that's a good thing, and I think it reflects positively on Bob Lazar's story, and I hope that the world will take another look at it. The fact is, the people that know him best believe him the most. I hope that one thing that comes across in your film is the real Bob. Once you get to know him, it becomes much more plausible as a story.
You saw alien ships.
Yeah,
You worked on a gravity wave amplification system trying to figure it out.
right, a propulsion system and a power source that's completely unknown to mankind.
And there's no way human beings could have made it.
There is no way human beings could have made it, under any circumstances, in any country, anywhere, period.
And for 30 years, you are telling us the truth.
You bet.
This shit happened.
You got it.
You know, the fact is that that raid that happened in Michigan, that's a very dramatic and very important development. They weren't there looking for records about some customer he had a couple of years ago. They were looking for 115.
Reality simply isn't what it used to be. Things are not what they seem. Everything around us is a mental construct. We create our own reality. Breaking that down is hard to do. And once it's done, there ain't no coming back.